Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. Before we get into this show, we do want to let everybody know that we are proudly bringing this show to you from the Den.
Yeah.
That's the Deluxe Edition Network.
Rocking it out.
Found at deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
In the DEN.
That's right. We are a part of an awesome network of really awesome podcasts, such as...
That's a lot of awesome that you just said there.
Yes.
Health. History. I'd like to...
Yes. There's also Beard Laws, Spoiled My Movie.
Yes.
The Deluxe Edition Podcast. There's like 26 different podcasts, so go over there, check it out. DeluxeEditionNetwork.com. Do it now.
We are happy to be one. Thank you so much. What's your bacon?
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Bacon is My Podcast. Jimmy and Mike here with Corina, who is really blonde.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yep, for real.
She's both really blonde and the awesome recording artist that is really blonde, who has brand new video out for Girl in Your Story. Out now.
A very cool video, by the way. Definitely check out the video.
Yeah.
And she directs and produces and does all of her own stuff. Very DIY, very all-encompassing artist here. And it's a fun video. It's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of different looks. A lot of different looks for you in the video, which is very cool. I like it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, so I during our conversations with like other musicians and talking about like, you know, self-producing and all that kind of stuff, I couldn't even start to think about self-directing. So like, tell me what goes into your process of like the video making process. Like, does the song, when you write a song, does a like a visual accompaniment kind of strike you while you're writing it? Or is it something like that, okay, I'm listening to this song, I can put a treatment to this? Like, what made you take on both of those things?
Yeah. I mean, my background, has been for years, like working as a photographer and a director, sort of doing like visuals for other artists, like indie work. And so it's kind of like I am just a visual artist kind of by default. And so everything for me is very much about the visuals. I think like half the reason I wanted to even make my own music in the first place was so that I could like, you know, produce the visuals in the way that I wanted and really like make my own vision come to life. You know, I've loved working with other artists, but to an extent, if you're working as a freelancer, like you're always kind of like, you know, providing a service, you're like sort of fulfilling the other person's vision, you know, and even though I'm directing, it's like, you know, we're still working within their concept, still their song, like, etc. You want to make sure that the client is happy. And so this was kind of my opportunity to finally like fully fledged do kind of the vision that I've had for a while. So yeah, it's very much that like when I write the song kind of initially, sometimes it really is that like immediate, but once I finish the demo, I get in like a weird phase where I kind of like wander around my living room for 2 hours, like listening to the demo on repeat and just kind of like imagining what the video would look like, you know? And I feel like when I get this really clear like download or vision of what the video would look like, I know that like that's a song that I should bring to the studio and actually record. Like when I sort of see the full vision coming together, like that's kind of my inclination of being like, oh, like this is a keeper, you know? So for Girl in Your Story in particular, I think that I sort of sat down and I decided I wanted to release that and the last song that we just put out, You Were Angel, kind of like back to back. And so when I started thinking about the visuals, I sort of wanted them to feel cohesive, but also kind of like opposite. I kept talking about them as like kind of like the A and B side of a record or like, you know, fraternal twins or something. And so when I was putting the treatment together, kind of like had one whole mood board that was for kind of everything, and then sort of like picked and chose certain aspects that I had pulled, you know, to put together both of the treatments for each video. But we shot them both in the same day. We had the whole same crew, same stylist, same everything. And so I really wanted them to feel kind of cohesive, even though they're very, very different. But yeah, it's a lot of DIY. It's a lot of me kind of being a one-woman show, which is kind of what I'm used to. So in a way, it's kind of my comfort zone. I've only kind of recently sort of like relinquished some control so that I can like produce stuff in the capacity that I want, and, you know, ask for help and kind of like get a whole crew behind me so that I'm not like actually having to do literally everything.
Yeah,
right.
But it's very much like, yeah, from start to finish, from start to finish, it's me creating the whole treatment, putting together the mood board, drawing out, you know, the storyboard for everything, kind of beat by beat in the song, like what all the shots are going to look like, making a whole deck, meeting with the DP, figuring out what equipment we need. Like, I'm really doing all the production as well. For Girl in Your Story, yeah, I was the only producer, so I'm like the one on the phone calling the van rental company, making sure that, you know, the van comes with locks, because last time I did a big production, the vans didn't come with locks, so then I was driving to Home Depot at like midnight, being like, I can't believe I have to go buy these locks right now. Like, you know, so there's just a lot of aspects that go into production, particularly film production, that I think a lot of people don't really think about, or like, if you're not kind of in that world, like you just wouldn't, you know, realize. So music videos are a big endeavor, you know, but it's really a labor of love, and there's kind of nothing better than, to me, like a big chaotic shoot day. Like it's sort of the most like manic energy, but I kind of love it. I feel like it kind of brings out the part of me that was like a theater kid in high school, of like tech week, when the show is like on the weekend and you have to be in rehearsal every day, all day long. You know, it's like you don't sleep, you feel insane, you know, but you're like, I just love this. I'm like feeding off this crazy energy, and I'm just so excited, you know. So I get a little nutty like towards the end there, but it really pays off, and I feel really lucky that over my time kind of like building a network in Brooklyn, that, you know, I work with all my friends. It's like my girlfriend's the set designer, my friend is the DP, my friend's the stylist, my neighbor and my friend is the makeup artist. It's like, you know, pretty much everyone is someone that I like care about and like want to have around me. And, you know, I really appreciate that they also trust me enough to sort of like let me steer the ship and like trust my vision and kind of like know that it will play out okay, you know, and it's been really affirming for me, because I really do want people to leave feeling like they felt valued on set, and that they were compensated for their time, and that they had a positive experience, because as someone that's kind of been on the other side of it as well, it's like, you know, there's so many things that can go wrong, and it's such exhausting work, you know, that I really want everyone to leave feeling like they had a positive experience. And so far it kind of seems like that's been the response. So, you know, it's really a gift. Like I'm happy that I even get to do this. Like, I think that it's been a long time coming, but I'm just hoping we can keep it going.
Yeah, guys, we are so excited because Manscaped has upped the game. Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. They've got interchangeable dual head system with both a regular razor that you're used to on your lawnmower, but also now a foil blade as well.
And if you already have one of these, if you already have the 4.0, the upgrade's good, man.
Upgrade is good.
Upgrade is good. It's got all the stuff that you like already. The light is a little bit brighter.
Yes.
Key, it has a lock.
Yes.
So that means in your bag, it won't turn on automatically because you're traveling somewhere and you put some shoes in your bag and you push down on it and it just turns on and then the battery's dead.
That's right.
You can lock it. Awesome. Awesome feature. Everything else, you've got your ceramic blades, you've got your skin-safe technology, you got all of that is the same and improved, but it's just a better system. Highly recommend.
Go to manscaped.com right now. Use the promo code BACONPOD for 20% off your entire order.
Yes.
You could get the 5.0 lawnmower Ultra. You can also use it on other products like the crop mop, which is our personal favorite. If you ever see us out in the wild,
yes,
you can definitely hit us up and we will give you one of those.
We always have them on us.
Always
ready to give out.
Yes. So again, manscaped.com, promo code BaconPod, 20% off of free shipping. Thank you, Manscaped. And always remember to ask yourself, are your balls clean?
Mm-hmm. What do you find has been the hardest part about juggling being, like, you came up being behind the camera and being a planner and being the person to set all these up. Now you also have to do all that plus perform and be the talent in front of the camera and do that part. Do you find it difficult to kind of, like, when you're in front of the camera, let go of all that other stuff so that you get the performance that you want to get? Or because I know we found that with recording.
Yeah.
He records his own stuff. I have to go to a studio and have a producer because I need to not be thinking about that when I'm singing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to kind of be in the moment. I'm just not good at that. How have you found that kind of like balancing act to be?
I mean, it's definitely unique. I feel like it is, a bit chaotic to be like sitting on set in like this outfit that I can't move in and like full glam and like trying to make sure like the little bandana on my head doesn't like fall off and like, and then I'm like, can someone bring me the monitor so I can make sure this looks like how I want it to look? I feel like the performance part for me, like, I feel pretty comfortable on set. I think like, I don't know, this feels even weird to say. I'm like, I used to be a model. I used to model when I was in college and when I came to New York originally in like 2018, I was kind of pursuing that a little bit. And I kind of was like doing it as a networking thing. I really wanted to be more in the fashion industry. And so it kind of felt like an easy route. And I would do a lot of test shoots with people where we'd shoot each other and we kind of trade. So, I was very used to like being in front of the camera. And I think that sort of my experience with that also made me a better photographer and a better director because I kind of know now like what looks good on camera and how to kind of move your body and what poses are good. And a lot of the clients that I work with are really not used to being in front of the camera. And so it's become a really huge asset to be able to like kind of literally step on set with them and like look at the outfit and be like, okay, and like look at where the light's coming from and be like, maybe try like this or something, and so being in front of the camera doesn't really feel foreign to me. I think it was almost like I was kind of on set so often watching all my friends get full glam and being like, I
want to get glam.
I was like, I want to get glam. Like, why am I like, it's like scrappy in the studio all the time. Like, so yeah, I think the performance part for me comes like pretty naturally. I think honestly the biggest like shift has been more kind of in sort of the rest of my life of like the way that I sort of am like presenting in the world now and kind of like the way that I sort of think of myself like in this kind of like work social friend environment because like it's all very involved. My life is all
bleeds together. Yeah.
It all kind of bleeds together. Like there's very little separation. And so, sort of like for years being this kind of like service person and kind of, like being available for all these other jobs and sort of like doing whatever assignment, people needed at the time. Like it's a really big shift to be like, actually, like the product I'm selling is not a service. The product I'm selling is myself, and so like that's a big shift. And then also just like, I don't know, I think I put off like kind of personal photography work for a while. I used to do a lot of self-portraiture and it was all kind of like similar themes and similar kind of styling to the stuff I'm doing now of like, it's kind of about my romantic life and my experiences and sort of playing off like feminine tropes and kind of like this like old Hollywood glam kind of look, and I feel like that was always kind of like what I was interested in, but I like hit a point where, I don't know, I just felt kind of like self-conscious about like publicizing my emotions so deeply, and I think I just kind of defaulted to like helping other people because that was like easy, you know, and I just didn't really have to think so hard about it, and it's not as vulnerable, you know. So now it's like I'm fully like heart on my sleeve, like the whole thing is out there for everyone to see, you know. And I feel like any artist, like I feel like we can all kind of agree it's like a bit of narcissism to be like,
Sure.
I'm just like romanticizing my whole life and like everyone should be interested in this and like blah blah blah, you know. But I don't know, it's still kind of a learning curve that I'm like getting used to of, you know, sort of existing in these circles I've been in for a long time, but in kind of like a different way, and sort of like also wanting people to sort of see me and respect me like in a different way than they have in the past.
Yeah.
I read about your the self-portrait thing that you did, which I think is very cool. And it's interesting because it was in another interview that you had where you were talking about like people asking you if you were going to do that again and stuff. And I was like, wasn't that kind of what this is? Like,
yes,
it's just,
exactly.
It's a self-portrait with audio.
Different, yeah.
You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
No, exactly. And that's kind of what I would say to people, you know, and obviously music, like just from writing it to, you know, producing it. And then I like have to go 100 with the visuals or else I'm not happy with it, you know? And so the whole process just takes so long that, you know, I like 2.5 years ago, people are asking me, where are the next self-portraits? When are you going to do a new project? And I was like, I'm working on it. Like, I was like, it's just 3D and there's also audio. And it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just taking
self-portrait
me forever,
with a soundtrack.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel like that kind of like, I think there was a lot of things that with the process of, you know, my first EP that came out this year, like writing it, and I mean, I hadn't picked up a guitar in years, and so I really taught myself guitar like through all of like 2020, 2021.
Yeah, you were a pandemic musician, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, finally kind of figured out what the sound was going to be and what I was trying to say, and so it was just such a long process. But I think the moment that it kind of clicked for me was when I was like, oh, like I've already been doing this. I just didn't really realize. And, you know, I think there was just, that one missing aspect is that I just wanted to sing. I just wanted to make music. Like, but I don't know. It's a very long time coming because, you know, any of my kind of long time like client friends will like tell you that, you know, I've been shooting, even when I was shooting in my old apartment in my living room, you know, I just put on whatever playlist and I'd be singing along while I'm shooting, and my friends would be like, girl, what's up with that voice? Like, what are you do? Why? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm a photographer. Like, don't ask me about it, you know? And finally, like, enough of my really talented, like, musician friends just kept being like, girl, where is the music? Like, we know it's in you. Like, you just need to, like, get it out. And I was like, I'm working on it.
I'll get there.
I'll get
That's
there.
awesome.
No, literally. Well, it's also hard when you're like, you know, a freelance artist. You're already like trying to survive.
Wow, yeah.
Keep up a client base, and like, I mean,
you're already hustling
like,
24/7 on one thing
constantly, and so it's really hard to like also make time to, you know, number one, live so that you can like have experiences and like learn about yourself, and then like reflect on it enough to write music, and then
right.
on top of it, you know, like actually make it a real thing. So yeah. It takes a long time, but I think that the timeline and sort of the switch between kind of like doing photography, I'm very like, I really like the instant gratification of photography. I really like to kind of like do a shoot and then have it back the next week and like have it be out, and like I'm like, cool, you know, if I sit on work for too long, I get really tired of it and I don't really want to look at it anymore, and I'm kind of like whatever. So music was kind of like the ultimate challenge because I really had to sit there and be like, am I still going to like this in 2 years? And
I was going to say,
really
mixing must have sucked.
But you know, I was kind of like, okay, like I have to commit or else like I'm just never going to do anything. So it's been like a really good kind of artistic challenge for me to sort of like sit with work and like really think about it and really like be like, okay, yes, I'm committing to this and I'm going to see it through and I'm going to take the time that needs to take to do this, you know?
That's great. Now, you know, one of our big things as we go, when we bring you onto the show, we're musicians. We don't want to know about the name or, where'd you get your band name? What's this song about? Whatever. Because we don't like asking
Who's
those
on your
questions.
Mount Rushmore of
But
bands?
I'm actually very curious because I kind of have my own thing as well where I don't particularly like to just use my name for, even if it is a solo project. So
Me too.
I wanted to know what went into, like you had mentioned to us that this has just kind of been your handle for, forever. But what went into you saying, okay, this art, this modality, this medium that I'm going to be pursuing, I don't want to just put under my name as a solo thing or whatever. I want it to be under this name. Like, is there any like real tangible answer that? Because I certainly don't fucking have one. I don't have like, I just kind of feel like it's like, all right, well, it's a band sound, so I feel like it should be a band name kind of thing. But like,
Yeah.
what went into you
I just
choosing
felt
to do
douchey
that?
if I was going to use my real name. It's like just my name.
Right.
When I did it, I was like, it's got to be a band name of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely thought about it. I think like I mentioned before, I think I almost was thinking about it like subconsciously before I even knew exactly what all of this was going to look like. Yeah, the Really Blonde has been sort of my moniker for, since I was like 16, which is kind of crazy. So I've had this kind of handle, and this has sort of been like my kind of nickname or identity for a long time. But yeah, I think when I started doing photography sort of more professionally, I sort of switched to just like going by my full name because I thought it was like more professional,
Right.
But I kind of hit a point where, I don't know, I think I had this like inkling that, I wanted it to be a little bit more fantastical, like a little bit more, of like a character and less just like, here's me as a person. And I also was kind of having this phenomenon where, like I said, my life is very involved. So it's like I'm working with my friends. Like I like know all these people, and like everyone knows each other. Like it's a very small kind of community here, and so I don't know. I just had a few like experiences as a freelancer where I just felt like and it's sort of inevitable, but I felt like some of the people I was working with that we get together, we do one shoot, that's it. We chit chat about whatever's going on that day, but I was finding that I felt like a lot of my clients kind of thought that we were like super close when like I'm sort of like, we have a professional relationship. Like,
Right.
You don't really know me like that, And so I don't know. I think I was just like having to learn a lot of like professional boundaries and like ways to kind of like keep my life sort of like separated in this way so that I didn't feel so like kind of obligated to like all of these people that I had like an hour interaction with, and like I'm grateful for all my clients, like it's just not even that, but it just was feeling a little too like invasive to be like known so publicly like as my full identity. And so I kind of decided, right around the pandemic, I sort of took the break from life to sort of like rebrand myself and redo my website and kind of change everything up. And, I was having this kind of crisis about it. And I was like, I feel like I need like a punchy like nickname or something. Like I need something more creative. And one of my friends was just like, you're really blonde. Like, why? Like, why would you look for anything else? Like, you've always been really blonde.
It's there.
That's what
It's already there.
And I was like, you're right, And so I think, it sort of just felt obvious to me. And also, it's kind of all this like photography work that I've been doing in the past, like self-portraits and stuff. It feels in line with everything that I'm doing now. And so, I don't know, it's kind of this thing I still struggle with of, wanting to maintain being like a multifaceted artist and wanting to not totally like drop photography and wanting to still be like working as a creative, but also like wanting to be this sort of like larger than life kind of musician character and like try and find where that all lands together. And I felt like having this kind of like overarching label for my work sort of just made sense. Like, I think I've always had this sense of even when I first moved here and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was just trying to get any sort of career off the ground, shooting and building up clients, like I always knew that, if I was modeling, or if I was the photographer, or if I was like styling something, or if I was in part of a shoot in any way, I just wanted people to know that if I was going to be involved, that they'd be getting like a certain kind of pizzazz, like that they'd be getting a certain kind of style to the shoot, or that, my touch would be like in there somehow.
Right.
And sort of like, that's like the Really Blonde thing, and so
it's like part of your signature.
Yeah, it's like I still it's like, I'm still the photographer Really Blonde. I'm still the director Really Blonde, but now I'm also the musician Really Blonde. And so, I don't know, it's like, I guess I could have, started a band name or something, but it's not really a band. I mean, I have my band, I love my band, but it's me. Like, I'm writing all the music by myself, So I don't know. It feels like it just kind of made sense, and I just kind of liked the anonymity about it, and I feel like kind of stepping into this musician thing now. Yeah, it almost like, it's weird. It's kind of counterintuitive because I'm like more public facing, and it's like more about my life, and my emotions are so like out on the screen, but in a way, like I almost feel more untouchable now. Like I feel kind of like I have this bigger separation between me and like the rest of the world, because it feels like kind of this campy, like over the top sort of version of myself, instead of people like knowing me by my full name and like, texting
there's a freedom. There's a freedom that's attached.
Exactly.
There's definitely a freedom. There's definitely a freedom and a fun aspect that's attached to it, where you kind of feel like you can do more. And you don't necessarily like maybe something you would shy away from expressing or saying or putting out there if your name was attached to it, for whatever attachments that brings with it. You're able to kind of do that because you're like, oh, well, no, I've got my Really Blonde shield. Like that's it's, I talked about it, but I talked about it in a very grandiose way because I'm a very grandiose character when I'm doing it.
Exactly.
Have you noticed some new things on Bacon Is My Podcast? We have the new BIMP Lounge.
Yes.
Right? So with that, we're trying to up our game a little bit here.
That's right.
Right? We're trying to extend our reach. If you want to help us do that, well, one of the ways you can do that is by rocking out with our sponsors. Jump over to baconismypodcast.com, jump to our sponsor page, and check out all of our awesome sponsors. Get all
GrillYourAssOff.com, DrinkWildBills.com, Manscaped, Pod Decks. There's quite a few of them. And we're adding stuff all the time.
With the most recent promo codes and the best deals that you can possibly get. Another way you can help us, get some t-shirts.
Like this one right here. It doesn't come without the sleeves.
It gives you the option.
But it gives you the option.
Yeah, you get it with sleeves. You don't want sleeves, you cut the sleeves off.
That's right.
That's how it works. Then you have a headband if you have like a thin head.
Yes.
I can't use the sleeves as a headband because I have a giant round head.
Yeah, we both do.
Yeah. Go to baconismypodcast.com. Check out the merch page. Bacon is my fashion.
Yes. Right? And you can check out all the latest episodes. It's kind of like a portal to everything Bacon Is My Podcast, including our music.
A portal to bacon.
Yes. Including his band, Craving Strange.
Yes,
my band, Something Heavy. Also, Bacon Is My Passion, the band itself. So
music coming.
Yes. So go ahead. Check it out. Costs nothing to look. So go ahead.
You should buy. You break it, you bought it though.
Hey, this is Casey Shearer.
And this is Ray.
Do you like pop culture?
We're pretty sure you do.
Then come on over and check us out at deluxeedition.show.
You will not be sorry. Or maybe you will be. I don't know.
It's more fun.
Yeah, it is more fun. And it's like, I don't know, it feels funny because, I feel like when I was first kind of like coming to my family and friends and being like, guys, I'm like having an identity crisis and like, I want to release music and like, I am 27, but I want to be a pop star and like, I need to do this, and everyone was kind of like, okay, like sure, like do whatever you want.
Have at it, yeah.
But it was kind of like, I felt like it was this thing of me like finally being like, this is who I really am, you know, is like me on stage being a rock star. Like, this is how I feel when I'm like in my apartment at 2 a.m., like running around, like this is my true self, you know? And so it's like, that's true in a way, but then on the other hand, it's like my true self is like sitting here on my couch with you guys right now, like, you know, having just come from the studio and like, you know, whatever. So I don't know, but I think a lot of my music and a lot of my art generally is kind of about like carving out all the different people that I am, you know, because I do a lot of things and I play a lot of roles in my life, like even in one week, you know, and so I feel like that's kind of the fun of this character is that I can sort of play all these different pop star characters in this one kind of name. And I don't know, it's like my escape, you know.
I really think I just recently had this conversation. I really love that you are putting your art under like this umbrella, and it's like all the time you hear like, okay, well, what is your thing? Like, what do you do? What is it that you do? What is this niche? What is this? What is that? And you are like, kind of whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I like to do like photography and express myself through that lane of art.
Yeah.
And that's what you do, you know? And,
yeah, exactly.
And I was missing something, so I wanted to approach it musically. And it's like,
exactly.
Okay, cool. And that's what you do. So that to me is like super inspiring and really, really awesome to me because like we've hit that like a number of times. It's like, well, what do you guys do? It's like, well, yeah, we have a podcast. Yeah, we write music. We just do a lot of shit. We do a lot of things. Like,
well, I kind of like, I hate that question almost because I feel like in New York particularly, and I don't know, it's probably like same in, you know, any kind of big like metropolis, like where people come to pursue their dreams and like whatever, you know, where there's a big art community particularly as well. Like, I feel like the first question anytime you go somewhere is be like, what do you do? You know, and it's like, I don't know, your job is not your life. Like, your job is not your identity. And, you know, I made a big effort years ago when I was meeting people for shoots. Like, you know, I have to make a lot of small talk and kind of get people comfortable and whatever. And I really tried to like shift away from the first question being like, so what do you do? Because I feel like, you know, a lot of people don't like identify with the way that they make money. They identify with their art, or maybe they don't have a creative practice, and that's also fine. Like, you know, everyone's just a human. Like, you can be here for any variety of reasons. Like, and so I really tried to shift away from, you know, what do you do? And like, just start off all my sessions with being like, how are you feeling today? Right. How was your weekend? Like, I think, you know,
who are you? It's a much more interesting question than what do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I try and ask that more often when I meet people. I'm like, hey, who are you?
Yeah, like, what's up?
What's going on? What's going on in your life? What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
what's up
tell me a story.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So what do you do to when you're not wanting to, like, what do you nerd out on? What's your thing? Everybody's got a thing. What's your thing?
My thing is like not music or photography. Probably plants. Like, my part-time job for years was like working at a variety of different plant stores, houseplant shops, garden, florists, like, etc. I'm like looking at my whole jungle of plants right now. So that's kind of like my Zen thing. Like, if I'm feeling really stressed out, I like water all my plants and I like prune everything and I like move everything around, and like, you know, that really like brings me back to earth a little bit. So that's kind of my little
nice. Do you get like you get full into the, like, you know, you're very knowledgeable about, like, you can grow things. I can't grow anything.
Yeah.
I've killed cacti.
I mean, listen, they need a lot of sun and they don't need a lot of water, so it's easy to overwater and it's easy for them to not have a lot of sun. So
yeah, I'm in a basement apartment. That's it. Maybe that's
yeah,
it.
I had that one year. It was a challenge for sure.
I feel like the botany thing is it's like a big undertaking. You do have to kind of understand it, or like even gardening and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
Like Jen one year, she was like, "I really want to grow a garden," and then I built this planter box, and it's raised and everything, and then dogs
Yeah. Dogs.
and dogs, and it just made it impossible for her to do. And then she was just like, I
Dogs and rabbits.
don't have. Yeah, we had
Dogs
baby
and
rabbits.
Oh my
Dude, we had
gosh.
baby rabbits that just like burrowed a hole. And
My mom has a crazy garden.
I know your mom's very into gardening. I
Yeah.
joined a Facebook group with your mom
It's pretty incredible.
about gardening,
Yeah.
and I was like, I would love to apply this one to one of my life.
She's really like she's into creating a backyard of whimsy. You know, like she has
I
like
love that.
if there's a big tree in the backyard, she'll put things on it that make it look like the tree has a face, but not directly.
Yes.
So if you're looking at it from a certain area, there's a nose and eyes, and you're like, that tree's looking at me. You know, and
I love that.
she hides little things in the yard and has stone walkways and stuff, and her garden's absolutely amazing.
I love that. That's my
my
dream.
brother
Is
did.
like to have the full gnome garden.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
That's the vision.
Well, something we didn't talk about with the gnome thing is we have this theory, right? There's there's
that's
like thresholds.
That's
of
true.
gnomes.
I mean, I don't want to sour her experience with her, with
Right.
with the lovely older woman. How many gnomes did the older woman have in her yard?
I do not know. It was a lot. It was an overwhelming amount.
See here, that gives us pause.
Yeah.
Only because
Understandably.
we've found that like a couple of gnomes, well, that's whimsical and fun.
Up to 3.
Yeah.
Up to 3, whimsical and fun. That's exciting.
Past 3.
Past 3, we have like
It's
stories.
they've got stories.
You got stories.
Yeah.
You might think twice about entering your home right
Yeah.
away.
When I
but-
go in the house, I'm gonna note the exits and look at the locks on the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna keep my
Yeah,
back to the door. You know.
Yeah, I understand that. I think as a child it was like very amazing that there were so many of
Yes.
them. But I think as an adult, if I had my own garden, which, someday I will, I think it's like a couple. They have to like have their job. Like
Yeah.
we don't need
Then after 7,
Yeah. Once we hit 7, that's souls of people that
After
are,
7
that are
is-
buried in the yard.
yeah,
That's funny.
that's
Souls are contained in those
Yeah.
homes.
yeah. You could either be buried under the gnome, and a gnome be.
I can't
made
back
for you,
that up
or-
with anything. But I feel
Yeah, I mean it's like
but I feel it.
feeling science.
Yeah.
That's
I don't have a garden right now, because obviously New York apartment, there's nowhere for me to have a garden. But
Right.
I do
You can have one of those gardens that you make in the shoe holder that hangs over the door.
No, I tried that in my old apartment. We had way better sun there, so there was one year that I grew like tomatoes in the window.
Oh, nice.
That was really amazing. But my apartment now is all north facing, so it's very
Oh, yeah.
ambient light. So all the plants are like in this one corner. But
Nice.
I do have one little tiny garden gnome in the kitchen that hangs out.
That's awesome.
So that's my token.
We also encourage touring bands to hide gnomes in the gear of the bands that are touring with them.
I
Yes.
love that. Yeah, it's like a good luck charm.
Yeah,
We've done that a few times.
we've done it to a few bands.
Just strategically placed at merch tables or
So drive-by gnoming.
yeah
I love that.
in their gear bags or whatnot. Yeah.
I would like to know why log cabin weddings make for the worst photos.
Yes, so my day job or my weekend job is that I'm a wedding photographer. And this is the first year I've done it, and so it's been quite the experience, but there's just something about like the color of wood that all of these like kind of more recently built like cabins have, that at night, like the only option is flash photography, and it's just like, it just doesn't look great. It's like, it's not cute. Like, it's just like, this obnoxious wood behind everyone. Like I just.
Well, I feel like a lot of those places.
Throw sepia on it and make it look like it's from the 30s.
I think a lot of those places.
That's what I have to do is
It's
like
like the
shoot
only
it
option.
with like the amber over the
Right,
black
right.
to make it like sepia so that everything looks like cohesive. But yeah, it's like everything is just very yellow, and then the lighting is always like doesn't match. Like it's just like I really don't like.
I feel like nowadays, and I know what you mean by like that everybody is looking for that rustic look, and everybody is manufacturing that rustic look. And when you manufacture it, it just like it looks like all the charm is pulled away.
Right.
Like
Right,
there's zero charm at that point.
You built this cabin a year ago. Like it doesn't. It just looks too new. Like I don't know.
Right,
There's
right.
Yeah.
something about it. Like,
You have better look at like a Disney Dude Ranch photo.
they've got the set design like on lock.
Right?
You
They
know?
leave.
Oh,
They
yeah,
leave.
they get
it. And it's been there for a while.
Right. Exactly.
I see what you're doing. You're popping in, you're watching the show, you're listening to the show, you're like, I really like their interviews. Or you're like, I don't like their interviews at all, but I do like 7 questions. Or you're like, man, I wish more people knew about this show because these guys are fun and these guys are cool. How can I help?
Well, one of the best ways to help is by going over to patreon.com/bacon is my podcast and joining our Patreon. We've got awesome 3 tiers starting at $3 per month where you will get live stream shows on all of our discussion and drinks.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week, a live stream that you can join in on, you can weigh in on, you can jump in the chat, you can jump in the little community. our little
Interact
BIMP
with
squad.
us.
We got a cool squad over there too, so you can meet people, make friends. We're all about that. Also, you can learn some cooking tips from us.
Yeah.
We got a few of those up there. You can try some of our dishes out.
Yeah. You can also watch us eat horrible shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Now, when we cook stuff, it's delicious, but the stuff that we eat is not.
Yeah, that's no.
Totally
It's
separate.
never fun.
Separate thing.
Yeah, but go ahead, go over there. There's tons of new content. We have early music releases. We've got live streams. We've got watch-alongs. We've got all sorts of stuff. Go to Bacon is My Podcast's Patreon today and sign up and be part of the BIMP squad.
Totally helps us out, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers to you. What's your bacon? So, as a photographer, let's do some public service here because a lot of musicians listen to this. We have a lot of musicians friends that check it out, and we have bands on all the time. So, as a photographer, what do we need to have bands stop doing in their band photos?
Oh man, I don't even know because I feel like it's kind of funny at this point. Like, you know, the originality argument around a lot of art is like very fascinating to me, and I feel like particularly with band pictures, like there is kind of like a formula for like what you're kind of like going for, you know. And I feel like it's almost like specific to genre. It's like, you know, at this point you could kind of see a photo of a band and like kind of know like what the music kind of sounds like, which is like great because that's kind of the point, but also like it's kind of hard to break out of that because then if you like go in a different direction, it sort of like throws everyone off. So I don't know if there's anything like particularly that I think people should stop doing.
You think train tracks and warehouses are always going to be cool?
Okay, the one thing that I really hate the one thing I really hate is like these studios that you can get that are like pre-lit and they just have like they basically just have like a dark like warehouse, but then they have sort of like the neon like tube lights that are just like all over the walls, and I just hate that shit. I just think it looks so bad. Like, and it's like there's like 3 or 4 of them like in New York and LA, and I just like every time I see someone shoot in one of these spots, I'm just like I've just seen this so many times. Like I just really don't like how it looks. Like I don't think it's flattering. I don't know what it's like supposed to be evoking. Like I just don't really get it. Like, but you know, to each their own, I guess. Like, but yeah, I think it is just kind of funny. Like I won't say don't do it, but I think the more you're kind of in this like world of creative production and also just like music scene, like there are kind of like the set locations and like the few pure space like rental spots that like everyone has shot at, and
Right.
Yeah.
I really try to avoid them at this point because it's like, you know, I've seen many music videos done at this one really amazing location that's somewhere around here that's like this kind of like old, like abandoned, raggedy house like vibe, you know, but I literally get like sponsored ads for this rental location, and I'm like, I don't want to shoot here. Like, I've seen like 3 music videos in the past year, and I'm like, I've been in this house. Like, I don't want to go there anymore. Like, and then there's also one in LA that, you know, I've seen like multiple great shoots at this location, but I've just seen it so many times now that I'm like, oh my God, it's like this studio that has like, a ton of like old vintage TVs that they have like a TV wall. It's
Oh,
like a bunch
yeah.
of stacked,
Yeah.
like old TVs, and you know I have one of these old TVs. I've used it in many shoots. It's like it's a vibe, you know, whatever. But it's just like anytime I see this one studio now, I'm like, oh, yep, $79 an hour, like, or you know, it's like it's like I can't do it anymore.
Do you think?
So, I don't know.
Do you think
I
for
think just,
band
like-
shoots, what do you think's more important, the background or the wardrobe?
That's tough. I feel like in the past I've sort of let a lot of bands kind of slide with like styling themselves because I know that like obviously the budget is not always there to like hire a stylist.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think I've always kind of advocated for like getting a makeup artist, like having someone to make sure that you look good actually. And like,
Right.
I do really push for styling a lot now because I think it's kind of all these little details that like, again, you don't think about it, but when you see a really well done shoot, it's like, it should feel unnoticeable. Like, I feel like all of the effort that goes into it, like, you shouldn't even realize, you know? And that's kind of the blessing and the curse of it, of, like, good production work, is that, like, no one realizes, like, how many people were involved. You see, like, a beautiful photo, and then you're like, oh, that's great. And then you look at the credit list, and it's, like, 20 people were involved in this just to get this,
Right.
shot, you know? So the more that I kind of, like, move on to larger projects and doing more video stuff, like, I really do think it's all necessary. You know, I really push for like stylist, hair, makeup, lighting, like everything, you know, but obviously when you're on a budget, I guess I would say background. I guess I would say like sort of shoot environment, because I think it just plays like a bigger role in kind of the vibe of what
Getting a vibe of it,
at the end, yeah. And you know, if you have cute style, you can make it work. I also feel like, you know, a lot of people kind of know what sort of clothing they like to wear and sort of like what they're comfortable in. And so particularly if you're not really used to being on set or you're not really used to shooting, like, I think I've seen a lot of people as well, if they hire a stylist, that maybe just didn't really get their vibe, or, you know, they didn't really talk it through enough ahead of time. Like, they'll just kind of be in this outfit that they're like, I would never wear this in real life. I just feel really weird. So
Then it's like a
I
funeral.
think
Yeah.
so, like, that's also not good. Like, I just think any good shoot is just like a lot of communication ahead of time, like a lot of kind of prep, so that, you know, you kind of avoid like all of those weird kind of hiccups that can happen like the day of.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love how much we've learned today.
That's what this is for.
I mean, like, we learn about somebody.
I have a better
We've
way of
learned
rhyming
about-
to do for my next
We've
band
learned
shoots
about
now.
Yeah, we've learned about Corina.
No warehouse.
But we've also learned a lot. Like, not a
I'm
warehouse.
glad. I'm glad you've learned a lot. That's awesome.
And I hope
for.
other people have learned a lot, because
I hope so too.
It's these are all like, I've fallen victim to it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you stand? What's that?
I was gonna say my biggest pet peeves on set, always, same for weddings, girls with the hair tie on their wrist. Take that shit off.
Oh, okay.
That drives me nuts.
Right.
And then I've also learned through modeling and stuff that this is always my trick that I give to people, is that hands on set, if you like have your hand on your leg just like flat down like this, it's always gonna look weird. And so hands are supposed to be like kind of from the side, like it's either kind of like this your pinky out or like thumb out. So it's kind of like Venus, like Renaissance. Like
I've recently learned the head forward thing. I've recently heard that the head forward thing, where like instead of having your head back like this, where you kind of put your head forward a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see that. No, there's a lot of I do a lot of on set. I kind of go, can you move your head like this? And I'll be like looking through.
Right.
As if I'm like up in here, And normally people kind of get it, so it's like I'm very much like the tiny little details, But I don't know. It's kind of like it's come inherently to me like over years of directing people that I can't even really describe. Like I think it really just like depends on where the light's coming from and what's going on and what the outfit is and everything. And there's a lot that goes into it.
Love it.
What were you going to ask?
Well, I was going to ask where do you sit with bandmates or band members wearing shorts?
Oh.
Wearing shorts.
Oh.
I've never really thought about it.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. I guess our shorts like a highly controversial clothing item. I don't know. I very much.
I've been told it's a faux pas.
I mean, listen, like when I'm performing, I am showing up in a full look. Like that's a lot of the experience for me is like being able to put on like the really blonde fit and like come out in my whole outfit and full glam and like the whole thing, so I know that's part of it for me, but I try not to put too much pressure on my bandmates to like match my energy because, I'm like gigging musicians are just out here doing their best. Like a lot of them are coming from their other job where they're like a teacher or something. And so they're like, I'm in my teacher outfit. And I'm like, that's fine,
Right.
So I've never really put like a lot of, pressure on anybody to wear anything crazy. But, I do kind of like give, if people want to take it, I'll give sort of the theme of the evening if people want to, dress to the occasion. But, frankly, when I'm performing, all eyes on me. So it doesn't really matter what you're wearing in the background.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Interesting.
That's a lead singer speaking to a lead singer.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So
you know what the problem is? The problem is that I for whatever reason, I'm a lead singer that's like, no, you don't like, it's fine. You don't have to look at me. And I need to get over that.
You do need to get over that. Yeah. So, especially because you're a lead singer that also stands on the bar and walks into people.
Well, they're not.
You don't need to look at me, but I'm going to stand up. I'm going to get off stage and get up in your face.
Yeah. No, I don't get in people's faces. I don't do that.
I feel like that's almost the epitome of being an artist is being like,
which I think is good.
Look at me. And then when people look at you, you're like, why are you looking at me?
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me like that.
Yes. Yeah. No, I
look at me, but don't objectify me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Corina, thank you so much. We've taken up so much of your time, but like we really appreciate you hanging out with us.
I hope you had fun.
And bestowing a lot of knowledge upon the consumers of Bacon is my podcast. So people take notes. I've taken some.
Take notes.
Yeah.
No, I'm all about sort of spreading knowledge around, giving tips around. I feel like there's an abundance of, information and sort of knowledge that you can acquire about any of this stuff. And I don't know, I'm very like non-gatekeepy. I'm sort of like, I'll answer any question about photography, anything about production.
Well, every experience that you have gives you a little bit of knowledge that you can then share with somebody who's going to be able to use that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to use it to also make your life easier if you work with them someday.
Yes. Exactly.
So they got knowledge of like, okay, don't have the hair tie on my wrist and don't do this. Watch what I do with my hands. And then the next time they do a shoot with you, this went seamless.
Exactly.
This is amazing.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much. This has been great.
Before we head out, though, you got to let everybody know where they can find everything Really Blonde, including the new EP or the recently released EP.
Yes,
and when the new thing is coming out.
Yes.
You can find me anywhere on the internet at Really Blonde, RLYBLONDE, Really Blonde. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. It's all Really Blonde. And you can also find all my creative work, all my direction and photography work at my production company page. So that's at Really Hot Creative. So RLY Hot Creative. So follow along if you want to see kind of what I'm working on with other artists. The EP that came out this year, Fantasy, my debut EP, is on all streaming platforms. So Fantasy by Really Blonde, go listen.
Also a great song and a great video, so check that out too.
Oh, thank you. Yes, the Fantasy video is like truly, I feel like I almost did myself dirty by like coming out so strong at the beginning because I'm like, how am I ever gonna top this?
It definitely, you made statements. You made a statement with that video.
So, we're always aspirationally looking up. But yeah, that was a really special video to me. So that's always going to be like my pride and joy, my babies. It's
awesome.
Really,
It's awesome.
Go watch that for sure. And then, the new songs that just came out, Your Angel and Girl in Your Story, both with a video that I also directed and produced. So go watch those on YouTube and stream it everywhere.
Nice. Check it out. All links and everything will be in the description of this video. So thank you guys for checking it out. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. And remember to ask yourselves every single day that super important question. What is it in your life? What is it? What is your photography? What is your music? What is your no hair ties on the wrists? What is your no shorts on stage? What is your thing that makes your life a little bit easier, a little bit better? What's the question?
What is the question?
What's your bacon?
Yeah!
Got it!
Awesome.
Love it.
That's it.
That's it. That's the video. One more thumbnail. Okay, next thumbnail. 3, 2, 1, go. Love it.
That's my hand.
I like the
showed
hand.
pinky.
I put my hands up here to give them a little. They look smaller because they're behind me. Cavzilla.
Cavzilla. Yeah.
Yeah. King of the calves.
King of the calves.
No, that sounds like you like little cows.
Or if I was the king of the little cows.
Yeah. Right, like you have subjects and they're all little cows.
Yeah. That's less exciting.
Less exciting than Cavzilla.
Cavzilla.
Yeah.
Right, because that means that
Monster calves.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a monster.
Right.
A little misunderstood, creates a little bit of destruction in its wake, but still there to save you.
Yeah. They're a port in the storm.
To restore the natural order of things.
Right.
Yeah. Really blonde. Corina.
Your calves?
No, they're not. They're certainly not really blonde. But what they could be.
Corina's really blonde. That name works even if she dyes her hair.
Right.
Because she's like, I'm really blonde.
My calves are not really blonde.
No.
Nor are they not hairless. But you know how they could be hairless.
It could be.
The lawnmower 5.0.
Yeah. They don't look like a lawn either.
No. They're not like egregiously hair.
No, you don't have like egregiously hairy calves or anything like that. I'm looking at his calves right now because it's warm in here, and he has pulled up his pants from the ankle to the knee.
Yeah.
And I'm gazing upon the majesty that is Cavzilla.
Yeah.
Cavzilla Wayman.
But we digress. Really blonde. She was great. Corina is awesome.
Yeah.
She's a really great artist and multifaceted artist. And I kind of brought it up. And I think it's really cool that she just kind of was like, yeah, no. This is all art, and this is what I do. So this is it. This is me. This is really blonde. Doesn't matter if it's...
I like that too. I think that's cool. And I get
visual,
it. I totally get
audio, this, that. It's like all this stuff, me. And I think it's really, really cool. So go check her out. Go check out the music. The music is really awesome. I'm really excited because we are actually going to be working with some different people this year. Here in the year 2024.
The year of our Lord!
2024. And here in 2024, because this is out in 2024, by the way.
Yep.
So
that's why I wasn't worried when she was like giving away one of her Christmas gifts.
Yeah. I'm excited. We're working with some different people, new artists, and a lot of fun. lot of fun is in store for us.
Shall be had.
All of us
Is yet to be had.
We will
bring more fun.
What we
to
do
you.
is going to be fun to you, and vice versa. I
Hopefully.
hope. Yeah.
Let us know. Let us
Yeah.
know in the comments. and
If
stuff.
this wasn't fun, go fuck yourself. No.
Well, tell us in the comments how it wasn't
why.
fun. You know,
Tell us why.
just slam us in the comments.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be great.
But
no one will care. But
Corina was really great.
yeah,
so
she
don't
was really
slight
good,
her.
so you'd be wrong.
You'd be very wrong.
You'd be wrong.
I agree. Jimmy, where can they find you?
You can find me at Jimmy G's Shoes on all the socials. That's my really blonde, I guess, is Jimmy G's Shoes. My band, Craving Strange, is at cravingstrange.net. That will give you a link to all of our socials and all of our stuff everywhere. We have new music possibly coming out soon. Possibly.
That's good.
Possibly, maybe. You can also find myself as well as Cavzilla Wayman here over on bakersmypodcast.com, where you can check out all of the cool stuff that we have to offer. Like our shows are on there, our sponsors are on there, where you can get all the best deals on stuff. We also have our shirts. Yeah. Yeah, you actually got one on too.
I got one on too.
Put one on. Yeah, we got all kinds of fun stuff over there.
Lots of merch.
So definitely check that out. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like, and yeah, you can even what else can you get over there?
Sponsors.
I mentioned that.
Our
Yeah,
amazing
you
sponsors.
can get all the best deals on all the Manscaped stuff, and yeah, all the most up to date things.
It's like a portal to everything that we do.
It is. It is. It's a port in the storm, like your calves.
A porthole.
Right. Where can they find you?
Me personally, I am at me my own self Mike on Instagram and Twitter. I am going to I am going to start
Words?
being more good at words.
He's gonna take English classes.
Maybe. No, I'm going
Babble.
to be a little bit more active on there to just kind of show people what I'm up to. I have a lot of things that I aspire to do this year. So,
Nice.
yeah, you can see all my stuff there. My band, Something Heavy, at Something Heavy Music on the socials. We will have some new music. It's probably going to be more covers this year, but we'll see. We'll see. We're writing. We're always recording. I'm going to take a little bit of time with the original stuff this year, and rather than just bang out a single and put it out, I'm going to put a little bit more thought about where it belongs, and yeah, we'll see.
Nice.
Might write a concept album.
Strategery, a concept album.
Been thinking about it.
That's exciting.
I've been thinking about it.
Oh.
It's been something that I've been rolling around the brain balls.
We may have to discuss and drink
yeah
about that.
Yeah, because it's something that I've always appreciated, and I think it's time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear more about that.
And yeah, that's that. That's me. That's my band. Also, my other band is Bacon is My Passion.
Oh, that's my other band too.
You too?
Yeah.
Wow.
We have stuff coming out
You
this
drink
year,
here too?
right?
Yeah.
That should be the name of the record. You drink here too?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we're going to put out our Damage Condition stuff. It was stuff that we wrote back in 2016, 2017. It is a direction that we decided to go for that. That was a lot of... that was like a very much like an getting acquainted period for you and I.
Yeah.
I think it was...
We're mixing our paintbrushes
It was very much a you...
We were touching tips and seeing how to make it work.
Yeah. We could go... we should discuss. That discussion and drinks. We're going to do that.
Yeah, we also have a show called Discussions and Drinks, which comes out
every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So check that out as well. Baker's My Podcast, Discussions and Drinks,
Yep.
where Mike and I sit down, have a drink, and talk about whatever we feel like talking about that day. And perhaps there will be one soon about that stuff.
Probably one in the archives. Because it's fresh. Why don't we just talk about that on the discussion and drinks we do tonight?
All right, sure.
Yeah.
We can do that.
So go in the archives. It's going to be there.
All right.
All right? And otherwise, always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
Shorts matter.
World peace.